Speaking of Star Wars, let's talk about Star Wars, Mason.
Yeah.
Andor. It got a...
Star Wars Andor, what, James?
That's the name of the show. It's actually even spelt differently.
It is, isn't it? There's no like forward slash.
I didn't want to correct you, but I feel like you would get many comments telling you that it was the name of the show.
And then it would snowball as well, and I would keep referencing it harder and harder throughout the remainder of the episode, and it would be very embarrassing for me, yeah.
You go to jail. But Mason, there seems to be a bit less buzz, I feel, though, from this. I saw also a tweet from Eckhart's Ladder, who's a great YouTube channel.
Oh, yes.
He does Star Wars and Halo stuff. But he said in terms of like YouTube views, what he's noticed around the board, and he doesn't know whether it's algorithm related.
Okay.
They're not, like the reviews aren't getting the numbers that, say, The Mandalorian got, which was huge. And then I think he said then it was Kenobi and then Boba Fett and then this.
Yes.
But it is being received well. People seem to very much enjoy it.
Do you think perhaps it doesn't
What is
have
that,
the, do you think it perhaps doesn't have the buzz because it doesn't have a man in a robot suit or a man swinging a lightsaber around?
That is what,
that's what it is.
Absolutely
what it is, yeah.
But I also...
It doesn't have as many action figures as you would like.
No.
For now.
But
one day there'll be a Stellan Skarsgård action figure.
And you'll say, hello, I'm here to pick up the thing you have or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm here for the MacGuffin.
What was that?
It's like, it seems to be...
It had shipping coordinates or something?
No, it's like an Imperial ship locator, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I heard it and I'm like, is this important? And then when they left it, I'm like, I guess not.
Sure.
I guess I don't need to know what this is. Yeah. Are we going to do some non-spoilers?
Let's do some non-spoilers,
okay, even though I did a bit of spoilers. But yeah, as I said, it seems to be in general, this is well received and people also appreciate that it is 3 episodes. I think if you had released one of these, it's not enough to get somebody hooked.
Potentially, yeah.
What did you think though?
I liked it. I liked the felt like quite a first of all, it wasn't a desert planet, and that's nice.
Yeah.
It felt like just another corner of Star Wars.
Horrible corner.
That was a horrible corner, but like a horribly interesting corner. Like I appreciated that we got to, it's a vast universe and every point of the universe has the potential to be quite interesting. And I thought this was interesting. I think, we saw some of the origin of Cassian in Andor, like as a child. We saw the planet he's from.
Yeah.
And we see this junk planet essentially where he lives now, and they're various kind of weird pieces of technology and tradition. Speaking of action figures, I'm looking forward to Hammer Guy getting his own.
Oh, big fan of Hammer Guy.
The guy who gongs the start and end of the day.
Is there ever been a guy who loves his job as much as that guy?
Certainly not in the Star Wars universe. Yeah,
they could get a droid.
Right, but he's got what I love about this guy is he goes up in his tower. He's got these hammers.
Yep.
Everything is very intricately made. He's got these beautiful hammers and this beautiful hammer surface to hammer on. He poses. He contemplates.
For nobody.
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
Yeah.
He's clearly
like in the Star Wars universe where everything is automated and there's droids.
Yeah.
Don't need that guy at all.
And again, he could just be like bang, 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 who cares? But he clearly contemplates.
Bang, 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 who cares? What does this even mean? Get up
or go to bed. Who knows? Bangity bang, bangity boo. But he doesn't. He's there, and he's like, what tone should I set today?
Is it not the same tone? I don't.
No, because sometimes he goes to do it, and then he's like, and then he changes his mind. So
I didn't notice because of my big watermark across it.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. No, but I thought that was I like that. Just that's part of this world for some reason. It's a tradition or something. I don't know.
It's a tradition,
or maybe alarm clocks are illegal on this planet.
I don't know. It's also, I like that as well. It's kind of, this is scumbag Star Wars.
Yes.
And we've seen a lot.
Andor's one of the biggest scumbags there is.
He is. And there's scumbag Star Wars and there's this kind of Star Wars, I feel even. Because technically, like, Boba Fett is like a bunch of scumbags. But it didn't really feel like
Didn't feel like scumbags.
And even like in The Force Awakens when you visit that bar at that one point, that bar feels different than the scumbag bar that Luke went to in the original Star Wars, which is actually titled Blue Harvest. I don't know if you knew that.
I knew that.
Yeah. But yeah, so
what was my catchphrase from earlier? Yes, I knew that. Whatever it was, I don't know. I've forgotten.
That one, yeah. And there's also something that I thought was interesting was that they're using BBY on screen to tell you when a thing is, which is before Battle of Yavin. Presumably, there is like an in-universe year. There's a system of calendar or whatever.
Sure,
I don't know what it is, but yeah. Because I think if they didn't use that, though, if they were just like, I guess they could have said 5 years after the rise of the Empire or whatever it was.
I mean, they could say, well, currently we're 5 years before the Battle of Yavin, they could say.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it's coming. You can feel it.
Yeah. That's what that guy's been banging on about. With
That's right.
That big drum. I think the other thing is this looks different than other Star Wars, apparently because it's mostly volumeless.
Good.
I don't know whether that is true because there's a few shots where I'm like, that's obviously they'd have to...
Yeah, I think that, Andor and Stellan getting on and off various spaceships, I feel, was a little bit...
Yeah.
That felt volume-y.
Yeah,
which
is fun. But apparently, though, it's a production designer of Chernobyl, which is why it looks like shit. In the best way. Yeah. So I enjoyed that. The characters I also like. So he's got a best friend called Bix, who's played by Mrs. Morbius. You remember from the movie Morbius?
Of course, yes.
She turns into a Morbius at the end.
Yeah,
of Morbius. Yeah. I enjoyed that relationship.
And she's like, just for safety purposes, I know that Morbius is going to become a huge franchise, and I'm going to get my own movie in Mrs. Morbius. But maybe I'll just be in a Star Wars also, just in case.
Just in case
this doesn't pan out as everyone knows it will.
Yeah. And I also think, Star Wars are really good at making a new fun droid. And they don't always land with me. There was one in Rise of Skywalker, which was like a wheel with a triangle. And I'm like, I don't need that.
Oh, who was it was BB-8's tiny little friend.
Yeah, it was BB-8's BB-8.
Yes.
But I think
we've got...
This one's good. I like it.
Sad crate droid.
He's just a crate. Stuttering crate droid.
Yeah, I like him.
He gets pissed on.
He's depressed. He gets peed on.
Yeah.
He started, we see a flashback where he's beautiful and scarlet red.
He's not stuttering.
And he's not stuttering, but clearly he's been through some stuff. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the idea that...
He's got a taser.
Yeah, he does. They've all got tasers. But also the idea that the Empire isn't everywhere yet. And so they've got private security forces.
Yeah, suck-ups.
Suck-ups.
And we're introduced to the biggest suck-up of them all.
See, that's the thing.
This guy.
The big suck-up that we...
Stevie Suck-up.
Stevie Suck-up. His name is, what's his name? Cyril, apparently.
Cyril Suck-up.
Yeah, the good thing about Cyril Suck-up is...
that's a suck-up name as well, isn't it?
Yeah. He's one of those guys who thinks he's a good guy. And from his perspective also, he's right. I guess we should get into spoilers now.
Okay,
right?
sure.
So we're going to do spoilers. They're out. You can watch them.
You can watch Andor if you want, and I think you should. It's fun.
Andor what?
Andor, She-Hulk Attorney at Law. You didn't think I'd have anything prepared.
No, I
because
didn't.
When anyone asks me to name anything, my mind goes completely blank. But I thought of something.
You thought of a thing you recently watched.
That's right.
Yeah. So, because it opens with... he goes into a brothel at the start, looking for his sister.
Oh, it's a bar that has dancing girls, James.
Sure, yeah. And they're offering him
everything's above
women
board
to play board games with?
Correct, yes.
Okay, great, good.
We've got Connect 4. Do you want to play?
It would be Connect 5 in Star Wars,
That
Mason.
would be
and that
true.
would be squares instead of circles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's accosted.
They always get stuck. It's very unsatisfying.
But he's got private... So he's accosted by private security. He ends up killing two of them. One by accident and one very purposefully. And we talked about this a little bit, but there's a bit of discourse around
whether he did the right thing to kill those terrible men.
Yeah, and the first one was an accident, obviously. And the second one, obviously you shouldn't shoot somebody in the face. But also, if he didn't, he would have been in serious trouble. And also, it's Star Wars.
It's true.
So, everybody shoots everybody.
It's true.
It's just that you never see something this kind of...
In fact, the very idea that there's any kind of investigation into who killed these men is wild.
Amazing, yeah.
Right? Any other movie or series, if somebody was killed in any of these planets, they'd just be like, well, that's life.
Yeah.
It's life in this horrible universe.
They just leave them under the bar. They don't even remove them. Yeah.
They get a piss droid to get rid of them. Drag them out by their heels.
But I like that... the guy Cyril, if that is his name, I'm pretty sure it is.
It is. It's Cyril Khan.
There you go.
/Suckup.
So he thinks he's the good guy doing this investigation.
Yeah.
And he's right, because two guys got murdered and it's his job to look into it, right? But also I feel like if it
he's
was...
a big nerd also.
He's a big nerd.
That's the problem, though.
And if it was just a rando, he wouldn't be looking into it.
That's true, yeah.
If it was just someone he happened to find.
Yeah. But there is a great scene, I think, between him and his immediate superior, who I think is going on vacation or something.
Or is on vacation.
Or is on vacation, or just was just leaving.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just leaving to go into space. I don't know. But he's just an older British actor, and he's just like, just write it up as an accident or something. I don't care. Just you're a... I don't like this whole thing you've got going on. I don't like
your weird outfit.
Yeah, just let it go. He's a guy who's sort of very resigned to his station. He's
and also, he was right.
Yeah.
To just let it go because it's more trouble than it's worth. But I love that idea that in this universe, them being the security force and nobody's also checking on them, so they can just do anything because the authority to them is the Empire, and the Empire, well, they don't care until they're like, no, you've involved us in this now, and now we're annoyed because you've dragged us out here to take over this.
I also like their incredibly utilitarian, awful-looking spaceship. It's a red dwarf. It's a grey red dwarf, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not like a Star Destroyer. Doesn't have any sleek lines. It's not anything like that. It's
shaped horribly.
It looks like a power droid, but in space.
Exactly. It looks like a socket you'd get for, when you go to the airport and you're like, what country am I going to? I need to get that. What's the type of adapter that they use?
But I just love the light speed. We see the light speed effect, and then there's just brick appears. This power supply unit appears in space.
Yeah, that's great.
The droid's name is B2EMO.
Okay.
So are we calling him Emo? B2? What are we calling him?
Emo. I guess Emo or B2. I don't know. Is there already a B2?
Yeah, see, it feels like there would be a B2, right?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I think people should call him Emo then, because he is extremely emo.
He's a bit emo. I also think that I like that when he's got a guy who's under him as well, Cyril.
Yes.
Who takes this very seriously and is also not without competence. Yeah. Like he sort of knows what he's doing. He's probably read some tactical reports at some point. But when you put these guys in an actual situation on a planet that they never police, it just immediately falls apart.
Yes.
Everyone's like, I don't know who you're after specifically, but we're not engaging in this. We will not be helping you.
There's a guy who shoots somebody. He's clearly never shot anybody before. And it's like,
And it's Star Wars. Everybody shot somebody. What's he been doing?
Right?
Yeah. So
probably Connect 5.
Probably. Yeah, but any kind of like real world scenario, they're not very good. Also, what do you think about the character himself, but also the backstory that we get for Cassian, the little that we've seen, the bits and pieces?
So he was part of a kind of an indigenous tribe on a planet.
I don't think he is.
You don't think that he's that kid?
No, I think he's the kid. I think, because you see there's some kind of mining happened there.
Yeah.
I think he's either separatist or Clone Wars or whatever. Maybe I think there was a mining facility there and they're the kids of the dead miners. I think they're like marooned there. Like it's
okay.
I don't like it
because there aren't any adults.
There's no adults.
Kids.
Yeah, it's all kids, and they've got kind of makeshift weapons and clothes, and they kind of speak their own language. And
that's true.
And there's no subtitles on that language.
All right.
Either.
Well, that makes that's a little puzzle to solve.
I don't know that.
But but there seems to be a bad reputation based around those. The people from that planet.
Yeah.
And it's because it's like, there's a mining operation there and everybody died. But it seems like a lot of the miners just crashed their own spaceships, it seems. I don't know.
Well, that spaceship also looked like it had like a bioweapon in it or something because there's a gas coming out of it.
Yeah,
and they're all like tainted.
Yeah.
And the mystery behind that is that they're wearing the uniforms of a separatist, but it's mentioned that they're from the Republic. So they're either Republic officers dressed as separatists dropping a bioweapon, or vice versa.
Sure. And either way, it's gone wrong.
Either way, it's bad and not good. Yeah.
Or they've maybe attempted to hijack it to take it somewhere safe.
Well, that's true, exactly. Yeah.
But then, of course, regardless of his origin, he is then adopted/abducted by
Harry Potter's aunt.
Yes, Fiona Shaw.
Yeah.
And her friend and their depressed droid, and
he wasn't always depressed, basically.
No, it doesn't. That's very true. Do you think having an adoptive brother depressed him?
Yeah.
Do you think that's what happened there?
I don't think that's what happened.
Because they seem to have a brotherly relationship where they don't respect one another. Because Andor seems to have adopted the droid, and he's like, "Don't go and do this. Go and look after your mother." And the droid's like, "Okay, Cassian."
And then he's always calling and getting into trouble and whatever. Yeah, or lying or not lying. Yeah. Also, apparently, there's a bit of lore, and I saw this from Star Wars Explained, great YouTuber, where it says, I think in the visual dictionary, that he's from Fest or something like that. But they make it here he's from Canary. So the in-canon story is...
Also in Rogue... So the assumption from Rogue One was he was from a place called Fest.
Yeah, or it's in a visual dictionary or something.
Oh, I see. Right.
So it was he's from Canary, but he was taken to Fest, and that's officially where he's from.
Okay.
But it's not where he's actually from. So that's something they could have ignored, but they managed to to work that in.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that was interesting. Now, is this in episode 4 or not? But seeing like the Imperial spy network.
No, so 3 ends with, because Mr. Episode 4 over here.
Yeah.
Mr. Bloody A New Hope over here. So at the end of episode 3 is Cassian meets up with Stellan Skarsgård, and they escape on the ship. So there's that enormous sort of action sequence where they
love that
blow up that factory.
Great action sequence.
Skarsgård the corporate cops show up and they're like, we're going to wait for reinforcements or whatever. And Skarsgård's like, I'm going to blow you up actually. I'm going to blow you up and then we'll see where things go, hey? And then they go on the run, and everything collapses, and they go on the run, and they get on the ship, and then they take off. And they escape. They escape on the little speeder, and then they get on the ship, and then they take off.
They hug tight on the speeder.
They hug tight on the speeder. Yeah.
Get out of there. So you don't see any of the White Imperial.
No,
stuff.
I think that's episode 4.
It's in the trailers, but I won't get into it. But I enjoy that. It's basically an Imperial spy network, and you find out the inner workings of that and like the politics within it, which I thought was, and that's where you get into like the Mon Mothma stuff and all of that. But yeah, no, I really like, and you'll see this more in A New Hope, episode 4. The Stellan Skarsgård character, very interesting. Also, very cool ship. Some of which we've seen more in the trailers than the actual show. But you find out like the story behind that guy.
Do we see the origin of his haircut?
We do see actually. We actually do see that if you are interested.
I'm very interested.
But
is it an emotive moment in his bathroom where he shaves it all off?
When it's happening, I'm like, oh my god, like that was my reaction.
Oh, there's a haircut. There is a haircut.
I'm not going to tell you what it is.
All right, no, you're absolutely right. If you did tell me the context of the haircut, I'd probably be mad when I got up to it. So,
but yeah, I just that character I think is terrific, and yeah, like him going up against a private security force. He'll just do the worst thing possible to them. Like he's he's happy to, booby trap or whatever and kill a bunch of them, and it just means nothing. And he's gone.
He's Star Wars, baby.
He's Star Wars, and exactly. He's done it before, and this is like he can run rings around somebody like this. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mason?
Do we feel, because I guess the premise of this, because he's looking for his sister for real, or is that
I don't know yet.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and I'd hate to spoil episode 4, Mason.
Ooh.
But it's not in that.
But it seems to me that he started out as a guy who doesn't really. He just wants to lay low and
just steal some stuff.
But he's gonna and this is gonna run 2 seasons apparently, allegedly.
And this first season's 12.
Right.
So
okay.
And they're long as well.
Yeah.
Which I like.
So we're gonna see a sort of transformation from this guy who just wants to keep his head down to like the guy who just wants to end the empire. Like he's the most rebellious guy there is.
Might just be Mason.
So that's going to be fascinating. I want to see that. I want to see that character growth. So
and then explode.
Yeah, I want to see everyone explode. Oh yeah, he explodes, doesn't he? He gets hit by that super laser.
Unless he's a clone or whatever.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you there's no way they would cop out that hard though.
No, I don't think so.
I
think they could have Bix show up later. She's got a boyfriend, Tim, with 2 M's who died.
Tim and Bix.
Yeah, Tim and Bix. That sounds like a Star Wars cereal.
No, it does. Or like a bedtime, a warm bedtime drink.
Sure, yeah.
Darling, can you make me up a Tim and Bix?
Yeah. Oh, and the Scottish guy says shit. It's the
sure does, yeah.
And a Scottish accent, which is just a wonderful addition to the Star Wars universe, and also blue noodles or something.
There were blue noodles.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding noodles. Thank you for reminding me. It's good to know the milk isn't the only thing that's blue in this universe.
That's absolutely right, Mason. I think it's really good. How do you think it compares to other Star Wars shows and movies that you've seen?
I mean, I think there's room for all of them.
Yeah.
Except for the Book of Boba Fett, which is boring.
Sure.
But I like the fact that we've got, over the one side we've got the Mandalorian and he's kind of, he's swashbuckling and there's a sort of it's sort of mystical and there's a he's got a destiny and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But in this, this is the grimy stuff.
Yeah.
There's no beautiful Beskar armor and dark sabers and all that sort of stuff. It's
just crouch and run.
Yeah, it's crouch and run and pale British man. That's what we want out of Star Wars. This is 1970s Star Wars.
It is 1970s Star Wars. Yeah, you got to love though episode 4 when Luke Skywalker turns up and says, "Don't worry, everybody, I've got this.
I've got this. Don't worry."
And he's got a double lightsaber.
I've got 2 double lightsabers, so don't worry about it. I'm doing flips. Don't even. It's cool.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, but it's also like, we'll eventually see K2SO. Apparently not this season. Next season maybe. I don't.
So that's Alan Tudyk's sassy robot.
That's already been done in a comic, but I think they're just going to. It's not a great comic. I read it. Also, I think they didn't assume that we were going to. Like, this wasn't going to get. There wasn't going to be a Cassian Andor prequel TV show when they made that comic.
Yeah, right.
So that makes sense to me that they put that they'd be able to, change all that now, which
Yes.
I'm totally fine with, as mentioned. All right, Mason.
Yes.
All in all, best Star Wars you've seen?
In a while, I think, maybe.
You got to also, people aren't going to like it, Mason. You got to hand it to Disney some of the time. Just like you got to hand it to George Lucas some of the time. Because sometimes Star Wars gets it right. And also sometimes, and again, it's only been 3 episodes, 4 for some.
Yeah.
And not everybody likes the same Star Wars.
That's true. But that's the thing. Like, it's a big enough universe that I think there should be room for. And I like The Mandalorian, and I like this, and I don't like Book of Boba Fett because it was boring.
And you thought Obi-Wan was all right.
I've forgotten about Obi-Wan.
But it did happen, didn't it?
Maybe.
Remember the bit where he said, "Catch all these rocks, bitch."
Oh, that's true. Yes. You got rocked by Obi-Wan. And all you got was this lousy T-shirt. It's on the T-shirt. You're going to sell the T-shirt.
He's going to give him the T-shirt as he leaves? Because all he got is this lousy like he's printed the T-shirt.
No, maybe he's got a business card and it's got a QR code links to the place where you can buy the T-shirt.
And Darth Vader could scan it on his chest.
Exactly, yes.
And whatever. Yeah, I love that, Mason. Anyways, look forward to more Star Wars every day.
Every day for all eternity.
Yeah.